Happy Thursday evening to you all. Welcome in to the UDDA Winner podcast. I am Dan Black. She is SportyJordy, and we have a special guest on our final podcast of 2021, one of our college ambassadors, Josh, all the way from Louisiana, a different part of the country than what we are used to. That's all right. How you doing, Josh?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing well. Jordy, how you doing?
Hanging in there. I can't believe this is our final podcast of 2021. That's crazy to think about.
Can't believe it's almost 2022.
Yes.
Who would have thought that would happen? You would have thought with all the pandemic would have been done by now.
I know.
But
yeah,
good for us. We pushed through.
There. Hopefully.
Plenty to get to tonight. Heavy on football this evening. Not unsurprisingly, as it's the second to last week of the NFL.
And we get an extra week this season.
Normally it would be over now, but we are fortunate to get an extra week. So plenty to go into. And of course, make sure if you haven't already to download the UDDA app and to join our Gridiron games. I think we have like 4 or 5 this weekend in our contest tab in the UDDA app. So make sure you get into that now. Let's head into the NFL. A big weekend last week. But before we really get into the nitty gritty, John Madden passed away of sad event and shockingly timely, given the fact that his documentary came out on Christmas and then he passed away yesterday. Crazy how much he impacted the culture of the NFL and how people of different generations have completely different first memories of John Madden. People born in the 60s only really remember him fully as a coach. People after that remember him mostly as a broadcaster from the 80s and 90s. Then you have the millennial mid-90s babies that remember him as sort of a broadcaster towards the end, and then the Madden games. And now you have the kids that are probably Josh's age that have no recollection of John Madden, the broadcaster, the coach, or any of that, and solely know him, from the video game. So I just think it's so interesting that there's 3 or 4 different renditions of John Madden that so many generations, overlapped on and know him from.
I think that just shows how much he's impacted the game and the image of the NFL itself, and how much he played a role into all different aspects, which will just carry on his legacy forevermore.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Wait, Josh, you weren't alive when John Madden was a broadcaster, correct?
I believe I was, because his last game commentating was the Super Bowl with Arizona and the Steelers. So I do recall that. That was his last ever game broadcasting. So I mostly remember him from the early Madden games. So.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's about right. Sounds about right. But he passed away just the other day, 85 years old. All right. So moving on to recapping last week, Jordy and I had weeks. You 3-2. I was under 500. Or there's no 500 when there's 5 games. So even below that.
Chargers. I even made the joke last week that I'm done taking the Chargers. But I took them this week because they were playing the Texans. And I was like, all right, they're trying to get in the playoffs. It's the Texans. That wasn't even a game I was worried about. And that completely shocked me. I remember it was on during the Eagles game. And I saw the score tick across the bottom. And I was like, wait. I was like, what's happening? And then I kept checking back. And the Texans just got the best of them. It was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced.
Oh, man. There was some horrors in that game for sure.
Oh, my God.
Justin Herbert, the whole first half, looked like he was seeing ghosts. And I think they really missed Austin Eckler in that offense.
Definitely. Yeah, I saw the stats, and it was 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, it's weird. And they were the first loser when we do our losers and winners. They were the first team that I thought of. Yeah,
they were the biggest loser of everything that week.
Yeah. I just don't understand. I thought Justin Herbert last year turned the corner sort of for the Chargers, and I thought all their late game miscues and just like bad performances were out of the way with a new coaching staff and a young quarterback that could, move and all that. And it just seems like the same issues keep happening for them where like 1 week you expect them to be great and they do that. And then the next week you're like, I'm done with them. And then they have a great performance. They're just not consistent. I don't know why. They have so much talent. Like they're not really, they usually, I think last year they got hit by the injury bug. They haven't really had that to the same extent. I just don't understand what's wrong with them. And neither do the people that bet on them.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, like I said earlier, I think Austin Eckler really makes that offense just so much more dynamic. And I think that whenever you are able to kind of swing out the ball to Eckler on the side, have him in the run game as well, I think it just completely revitalizes that offense. And I think when you have a guy like Justin Jackson, who's more of a kind of just a downhill power runner, you don't really get that same effect out of the passing game. So I feel like definitely you can't move the ball downfield as easy.
That's fair.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm yeah. Or can we officially be done betting on the Chargers? Are you done?
I think the last 2 weeks of the season, I'm out. I can't take it anymore.
I can't do it anymore. They're
I was very close, and we'll circle back to this at the very end of the show. I was very close to being off the train for the Bengals as well. They sucked me back in. And like I said, we'll get into that later. But the Chargers have officially lost me for the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, I'm with you. The other loser that I really thought of was Carson Wentz. What timing?
Yeah.
What unbelievable timing for that man.
Carson Wentz has the worst luck of anyone I have ever come across in my entire existence.
Yeah. It's like horrible luck. No,
what I think is crazy too about Carson Wentz, like getting the COVID bug, was he's like a dad, and he's not like a party guy. He's not, the young guy anymore, kind of going out clubbing, hanging out with people. He's a dad who plays quarterback for the Colts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, anybody can get this new variant from anything, but like that is just. And he has to stay out longer, I believe, because he's unvaccinated.
And he's made it clear that he's
literally. And I remember during the summer when Carson Wentz was sort of at the forefront of the, he didn't want to get vaccinated thing, and the whole conversation of, how will this affect teams, and what if it's like the worst case situation? Literally, that is happening currently. This is exactly what they were talking about is. When you're in a playoff hunt, which they are, they have been on fire for the last 7-8 weeks.
Yeah.
And now he may not be able to play Sunday.
Yeah. And if they don't,
that is unreal.
No, it's literally the most Carson Wentz thing I've ever heard. Because people have been getting COVID for the last handful of weeks. If he could have gotten it at any time, it's spreading like crazy. You can get it from anywhere. He could have gotten it 3 weeks ago, missed a game, and they still would have been in decent shape. It wouldn't have been as dire as it is right now. But now, 2 weeks left in the season, they are in every game is must win at this point. They have a chance to even come in and take their division. And then he gets COVID and realistically won't be able. They did change. The CDC made quarantine time from 10 days to 5 days. That changed for the NFL as well. So there actually is a chance that he could play. It's just more unlikely. And then even if he does come back, he didn't get to practice all week. It's not going to be that same vibe. It's just a very unfortunate situation for Indianapolis and especially Carson Wentz.
Make a decent time, baby.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Jacob Eason's a beast.
Who?
I don't know. He's good, man.
Is he good enough to win Sunday though? That's the question.
I think they have.
That's all that matters.
They have the Raiders, who have been.
I think so. I mean, it just depends what team shows up for the Raiders.
Exactly. Second half of the season for the Raiders, though, is always a much easier team to beat than the first half of the season Raiders. So the Raiders always come out so hot weeks 1 through 5, and you're like, oh my God, are the Raiders finally going to be a playoff team? And then it's halfway through the season hits, and you're like, oh no, it's the Raiders.
Yeah. The Raiders are the losers of the entire season. That's for sure.
Probably. Yeah. They've had a rough 2021. They are ready for a 2022. They are ready to put this one in the books.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. And the final one, and it's not even necessarily a loser per se, is the Jaguars losing again this past week and being one step closer to back-to-back first overall picks. Obviously, you're wearing your Jaguars. That was not planned, by the way.
Yeah.
Literally was not planned.
Just very much a coincidence. Is that a loser thing?
I think it's very bittersweet because I think obviously the Jags would not like to be in this position for the second year in a row. But at the same time, you went in last year, you got Trevor Lawrence, who's I still think has so much talent there.
Mm-hmm.
He just had the worst NFL coach in the history of the universe in his corner this past year, unfortunately, to kind of be his transition. So I don't think we got to see all the bright spots of Trevor Lawrence just yet. So I think once you bring in a new head coach that can actually utilize him in the way he needs to be utilized, now you have another first overall pick. And with that, you can either trade back and get all this draft capital and do something with that there, or take the next best piece in this draft and continue to start building this team together. So it stinks that you are this bad for the second year in a row, but at the same time, you got to enjoy it. Take advantage of it. You're still in a good position to move upward if you can finally get a capable head coach in there to do the right things for this team.
I think another thing that maybe people aren't really thinking about is the Jaguars still have to play the Patriots this week. And the Lions are playing the Seahawks, and I honestly have Detroit winning that game. So
I would love to see it. I've been rooting for the Lions all season.
The Seahawks are probably the biggest disappointing team of the year for me.
I actually called that.
I personally did as well, but I think based on where everyone thought they were going to finish, I had Seattle missing the playoffs before the season started.
Yeah, I had them coming in last in this division. I actually got attacked on Twitter for it because they never come in last. And I was like, come on. I was like, look at the other teams in this division. I was like, see, you were in a better position than me. I said that Seattle was still going to be a good team. I just didn't think in the NFC West that they were going to be able to compete, which was true. And they were actually worse than what I was even expecting. So it's just an off year for Seattle. I think we're going to see a breakup with either Russell Wilson's staying and Pete Carroll's going, or Pete Carroll's staying and Russell Wilson's out of there.
I think they're both gone.
They're just going to do clean house.
I think Pete Carroll's gone. I think he wants to win, and he knows his time is numbered, as a head coach, just being how old he is. And I think Russell Wilson will be the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints next year. That's what I think.
Interesting.
I can see that being a good fit.
The one winner, that would be an interesting fit. The one winner from this past weekend, though, is the Texans money line bettors. Anyone who bet the Texans money line, they're the real winners in our book.
I want to meet
Imagine that.
I want to see someone's bet slip where they woke up that morning and were like, yep, I am taking Texans money line against the Los Angeles Chargers. I just want to hug them. Like, I want to give them the credit they deserve.
I had one of those mornings. I remember I woke up I forget what week. It was whatever week, the Giants and the Jets both won and Washington won against Atlanta. I remember I woke up that morning and I was looking through my apps and I was like, there's something in my gut was telling me something crazy was going to happen.
Against the Titans. What week 4 or 5 something?
I think it was that week. It was that week.
It was it was like the flip side of the pillow, everything.
That was the week I had Derrick Henry 2 rushing touchdowns and a Titans win for a super parlay.
Yeah, and I was but I woke up that morning and I was like, I have a gut, but I'm like, there's no way Washington, the Giants, and the Jets are all gonna win. And I did parlay, and I literally regretted it for a week.
I'm sorry. No, I won a bunch of money that day. Jets money line against the Titans. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing.
I'm sure. I believe that. All right. Yeah, good for the Texans. I'm proud of them.
They needed that to have to not go down to independent league football.
Yeah. They needed
to still be classified as a
NFL team
organization.
Yeah. They're a mess, but they needed that win, and that was an embarrassing loss and an embarrassingly good win in a sense.
Yes.
Looking ahead to week 17 now, already here. Been a long, quick season, but a long season. First off, of course, we have Jason Tartick's Bills Mafia contest. So make sure for all Bills Mafia fans or just anybody that likes the Bills, make sure you join Jason Tartick's Bills Mafia contest that runs all season long. Who are they playing this week?
Playing the Falcons.
Playing the Falcons. Oh, yeah, they'll kill the Falcons.
Yeah, they
I don't
absolutely.
like that spread,
Falcons
though.
at home.
Isn't it like a 2-touchdown spread?
It's like 14.5, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I think that's a dangerous spread because I could see the Bills going up and pulling Josh Allen.
Yeah, I could see this. Yeah. I could see the Falcons covering 14.
But also, it depends on the weather. If it's like a cruddy game weather-wise, the Dolphins are not going to go into Orchard Park and do anything.
Oh yeah, I've been to games in Orchard Park. All my family lives in upstate New York, and those games aren't fun to sit there and watch. They're definitely probably not fun to play in. So
yeah, that's fair.
I know, I can't imagine.
That's fair. Week 17 games to watch for of Week 17. I'm a big fan of the Chiefs-Bengals game. I
was so mad when you took that one.
I saw it. I originally actually wasn't going to take it. I think I was going to take Ravens-Rams, and then I scrolled down and saw Chiefs-Bengals, and I said, that's the game for me.
Yeah.
Chiefs-Bengals, I think, is the game to watch this weekend. A lot to prove for the Bengals. A lot on the line. And just an opportunity for Joe Burrow after an incredible week last week to prove that he is as legit as they come against the best quarterback in football in Patrick Mahomes and a team that's just ascending has been red hot in Kansas City. So I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, that's going to be an incredible game. I went with the Dolphins and the Titans game just because the Titans are trying to hold on to their division with the Colts on their heels. They kind of have the advantage this week, especially if Carson Wentz can't play to kind of wrap it up. But the Dolphins have started off the season 1-7, have come back and won 7 straight games. If the Dolphins can win out this season, they have earned a playoff spot. And I think I'm a big Tua fan. I hate all Tua slander. So for him to have this comeback after his injury early on the season and be playing such good football, I just like rooting for him. I like watching him. I like watching them. And after their shaky start, for them to come back and rally like this, they deserve a playoff spot to me. I want to see it happen for them. So Dolphins versus Titans, it's going to be interesting, but they're only 3.5 point underdogs. So
I think that stretch of games was really what Tua kind of needed to build his confidence.
Yeah.
Definitely you had some weaker opponents in there, but I mean, I think that's out of your control. And I think at the end of the day, Tua has played phenomenal football. So I think that was a really good.
And my thing is, people have thrown that argument at me as well. They're like, oh, but they had an easier schedule. And it's like, yeah, but they were winning. Like they were beating the teams that they should be beating. So
and they were also beating some teams by pretty decent margins as well. That's another thing to show that offense maybe not, maybe is pretty dynamic with Gaskin and Waddle kind of coming together and it working out.
Yeah. And this team, it's not even complete yet. Like Tua doesn't have an O-line at all. Like there are still things that they need to fix. So the fact that they're able to go on this winning streak when they're not even in their best form, it just shows that if they can go out and get these pieces in the offseason, this is going to be a scary team in the upcoming years. So I'm in their corner and I'm very excited to see if they can make it happen this weekend. Continue the hopes of a playoff run.
You could maybe argue that Tua's offensive linemen are better ball carriers than blockers.
Honestly, yeah. I think that's a valid argument.
Lots of fat man touchdowns this past week.
Oh, yeah.
Huge fat man touchdown week.
Yes. Lane Johnson.
Oh.
I
completely forgot about that until you literally just said that. Jogged my memory.
And my favorite sports moment of 2021, Lane Johnson touchdown.
Oh, yeah. This week I picked the Rams and the Ravens. I think this is going to be one of the most, one of the closer games this week. Of course, that's all depending on Lamar Jackson, but I think he's going to suit up and play. And bringing him back in that offense, I think this is exactly what Baltimore needs. They're on the verge of making a wild card spot, and I think if they win out, they still got it. On the other hand, though, the Rams are also playing for something too. They're trying to hold on to that division and probably clinch in the next week. I think they can clinch this week if they win. But I think the Cardinals may have to also lose to the Cowboys, which I have the Cowboys beating them. But I think, when Lamar Jackson comes in to an offense, I think it just completely changes the game. I think you have to run your defense at an entirely different octane. And I don't see the Rams being able to contain Lamar Jackson. It's really just if their offense can get off the ground. And OBJ's looked great. Cooper Kupp has been the best story of the year.
Oh my God.
If Matthew Stafford is clicking, I think the Rams should win. But look out for Lamar and those guys in Baltimore.
Yeah, I feel so bad for the Rams. They've gotten the crappy end of the stick since before the season even started with injuries, and they've done their best, and Lamar has done his best to kind of hold them together. It's like literally like glue, just like holding
Lamar and the rest of the Ravens.
Yeah. And you just see how different this team is without him. So I really want him to be able to come in and kind of just make it happen for them, but I think
another thing is, their secondary has been pretty bad the last couple of weeks. They just got torched last week by Joe Burrow. Yeah. I really can see. Secondary. Yeah, I really can see. I really can see this game. Being home field in Baltimore. I can really see the defense kind of stepping up. Especially, this is a must win for Baltimore. They're out of the playoffs if they lose. So, yeah. I don't think they're ready for that, and I think the Ravens have a lot to prove, and I think it could be for a very good game.
I like it. Love the looks of it.
I'm off the Ravens. I've been so off the Ravens.
I like Ravens.
I told you I was off Lamar Jackson, so I'm off the Ravens.
How are you off Lamar?
Because I had him in fantasy football, and on a near weekly basis, he disappointed me.
I'm sorry.
So
still gonna love him.
And I loved him coming out of college, and I loved him at the beginning when everyone was saying he should play wide receiver, and I'm just for this season, for the rest of the season, I'm off Lamar Jackson. We'll see, come September next year.
I definitely think he'll look a lot better with some healthy backs.
Yes.
Well, if they could draft a freaking wide receiver that's useful instead of Hollywood Brown,
they're never going to draft a wide receiver that's useful because they're never going to utilize a wide receiver until Lamar can't run like that.
Yeah,
that's true. That's a valid point.
They need another tight end. Imagine if you had two beasts, like doing what the Eagles did with Ertz and Goddard.
Yeah.
Because you see how he's able to connect with Mark Andrews. Imagine if you had two of them. Like that offense would be unstoppable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really think that Baltimore should have a middle of the round pick. I really like them taking the guy from Texas A&M, Weidermeyer, however you say his name.
Yeah.
That dude's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they definitely need to run just like a 12 formation with two stud tight ends. You're right, and like one really good slot receiver and
Hollywood Brown
10 yards at a time. But Hollywood Brown sucks, so it's different.
Oh, he'd be a great slot receiver. Problem is he's got to be the one. He's got to be the one in an offense with no receivers.
Yeah, but he's not. I'm not a fan of Hollywood Brown.
And even their running backs, like they all would have been good in like 2008 to 2010. Like
yeah, they have like the 2013 Pro Bowl backfield.
Literally.
Yeah. Ridiculous. For a team that's usually pretty good at drafting, they just like have not.
It's literally injuries.
It's like, such injuries. Yeah, their running backs are so good. They just don't have any of the three of them.
Yeah,
that's true.
They're all gone.
Well, like I'm just surprised for like a smart front office they haven't been able to find some like needle in the haystack random.
It's because every good running back in free agency was 30 plus.
Yeah,
that's true.
This wasn't a good running back free agency.
That's true.
There wasn't really anyone.
That's valid.
And then you had like Le'Veon Bell, who wanted to like. Le'Veon Bell doesn't realize that he's older now. Like
he doesn't realize that he's not Le'Veon Bell.
Yes, like he's still like, no, like I'm Le'Veon Bell from the Steelers, and like I'm the team, like I am the star. And it's like, no, sweetie, that was 5 years ago. It is time to realize you are.
Antonio Brown's timeless miracle is making him hold on to the past.
Exactly, and now the Bucks are like the 2011 Steelers with both of them.
Ridiculous.
Christmas.
What a week 17 to look forward to. I'm excited.
There's going to be a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
Lots of
there's also,
ins and outs.
what do you say?
Lots of ins and outs of the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah, no, like playoff, and it's kind of great because a lot of the playoffs are like being decided this week.
Yeah.
Or next week.
The
Like, thank
NFC
God.
playoff picture, like all the teams can be locked up this week if like X,
All
Y,
the
and Z
divisions are
happen.
locked up, I think, for the most part, except one maybe.
AFC South.
Well, the NFC West.
Oh, right, the NFC, yeah, not official.
It's either going to be the Cardinal. It's like basically locked up because it's going to be the Cardinals or the Rams. But yeah,
but the rest of the NFC is locked up, and
yeah,
I think still some of the AFC needs to be dealt with divisional wise.
AFC East is pretty wide open.
Yeah.
The AFC South is pretty wide open too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
fun,
the North, everyone's like 8-7 or better in the North.
Yeah, I was gonna say the North. That's getting chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you're gonna have teams
chaotic.
who are literally one game out of the playoffs. Like
yeah,
4 or 5
that Steelers Lions tie is gonna haunt someone. Like that's gonna be like a dagger somewhere.
Yep.
Someone who took the over and wins or something that took an absurd over and wins against screwed by the tie. It's gonna happen. Someone's gonna tweet about it. Come 2 weeks from now. College football, also a huge weekend. Looking forward to it. We have 2 contests going on for our New Year's Eve, New Year's Day college football celebration. So we have undefeated game day going on right now for New Year's Bowls. And then we also have our New Year's Day extravaganza, which is 5 bowl games, I think, and the Winter Classic. And the Winter Classic. So no greater combination than college football and hockey.
Yeah.
So that works. So yeah, make sure you join our NCAA football undefeated game day and our New Year's Day extravaganza to kick off your 2022.
Yeah,
New Year's 6. Win cash. New Year's 6 bowls kick off the first one in a half hour with the Peach Bowl. I like the Peach Bowl. One of my favorite bowls. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
I took Michigan -3. -3.5.
Michigan's not playing. Michigan State.
Michigan State, yeah.
I was going to say. It's like Michigan plays.
I really wanted to take Pitt, but I just couldn't do it.
You couldn't trust
Kenny Pickett, no Pitt.
No, I can't do it.
I always take Big Ten teams
because I was associating them with him. So I was like, I want to do it. And it's like, no, it's not the same. It's not going to be the same. So I went with Michigan State.
Yeah, I just trust Michigan State's running game more.
Yeah.
Even without Kenneth Walker.
Yeah. I just trust a Big Ten running game against an ACC defense that isn't Clemson, basically. But we all chose from the New Year's 6 games. And we all picked different ones, and I'm glad we did. Jordy, you can start us off.
Yeah, I went with the Citrus Bowl. I took Iowa +3. Now, Iowa, they're missing their best running back. These teams are actually, it's kind of ironic because Kentucky and Iowa, they're very similar teams. On paper right now, you can argue that Kentucky is the stronger team, and especially now that Iowa's missing Goodson, but I just still think Iowa can pull something out here. So I'm taking them with the points. I think I need to make sure if there's 3 points. So I'm taking them Iowa +3. I have a feeling this is going to be a close one anyway. I don't love the over here. I think the over is sitting at 45. But no, I'm still rolling with Iowa. I still think they're going to be able, because I think Kentucky's going to expect to be able to run all over them because they're missing their best piece, but they still have other guys too. So I'm just hoping they can pull something out here.
Fair enough. Josh, go ahead.
I've got Baylor and Ole Miss. That's a Sugar Bowl. I really think it's going to be a phenomenal game. You have colleges. In my opinion, I think Ole Miss has the best offense in college football. Arguably one of the best offenses going against one of the defenses in the league. I think Baylor's incredible year. They got Jerry Bohannon. Can really make this a good. I really just like Matt Corral though. Matt Corral is going to be playing in the game. The over's 55.5. I say you hammer the over. I've seen what Ole Miss can do on the field, and Baylor's offense has also looked pretty astounding the last couple times they've been on the field. Personally, I have Ole Miss -1.5 spread. I just think they're gonna ambush them. I really think Ole Miss might put up 45, 50 points. So
you think Ole Miss is? You think their offense is that good against Baylor?
I think Ole Miss's offense is phenomenal. I think they have
I know they're really
three-headed
good,
monster in the backfield. Huh?
I know they're really good. Just I didn't think they were.
I think that Baylor's defense is very good, but I think that Baylor's defense also plays Big 12 teams, and I don't think they play SEC teams. And SEC teams are not the same as Big 12 teams, and I think if we keep trying to tell ourselves that lie, we're just going to end up watching Oklahoma get beat in the playoffs every year like that. It always happens. So, I think that Ole Miss is going to steamroll them. If I had to make a score prediction, I'd probably say in the area of 45-20. I think it's going to be pretty bad.
Damn.
I think Baylor's defense will show up early, but I just think that Matt Corral is gonna throw all over them. I think, and their running game is phenomenal. Snoop Connor, Jerry Neely. I mean, they've got some monsters back there.
Josh just came in and is making bold predictions, and I love it.
Scorching. The over is definitely
scorching hot take.
I mean, I'm definitely in on the over on that because anytime I have a Big 12 team involved, I'm just going to take the over because it's almost a guarantee. Like anytime, unless it's like 70.
I think another thing that maybe people aren't thinking about, at least from the perspective of Baylor's offense, is Baylor's really good on the ground, and Ole Miss is really good in the box. Ole Miss's biggest weakness of their entire team is their back secondary. It's awful. It's really bad. One of the worst in the SEC. Now, that puts them around average in the Big 12. But I really just think that Baylor is not going to be able to pass the ball, because they haven't really at a high level all year. Jerry Bohannon is really good with his legs. He's really good in the short game. But, Baylor's bread and butter is the run. So I just really think that Baylor's not going to be able to score enough points, and I think Ole Miss is just going to run away with it in the second half.
Got it. Freaking college football insider here over this guy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. What was it? What'd you say? 45-20?
I would say in the ballpark of 45-20, Ole Miss.
Jesus Christ. I mean, listen, my prediction for my pick, which I picked from the Rose Bowl, was Ohio State, Utah. Big Ohio State minus. They're now -4. They were 4.5 like an hour ago. I have no idea why it's so low. Because anytime I see a Big Ten team, specifically Ohio State versus the Pac-12,
yeah,
I don't need a whole in-depth, player-by-player thing like Josh over here. I just look at that, and that's an easy W, to my opinion. I don't care who Utah beat. I don't care how bad and I watched them destroy Oregon in the Pac-12 championship. They're going to get absolutely steamrolled by Ohio State, mainly because I always pick pissed off teams, and Ohio State had a chance to get into the playoff, and they're gonna play pissed off.
Oh yeah.
That's why I like that Baylor Ole Miss game. Both of those teams were playoff material.
Right, they're right there. Right, I mean Baylor literally lost. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, that was it Baylor or Oklahoma State?
No, Baylor beat Oklahoma State.
Baylor beat Oklahoma State. I was thinking Oklahoma State. That's another one I'm going to pick. Oklahoma State to absolutely steamroll. But yeah, Ohio State -4. That is an easy dub for the Buckeyes. I'm hesitant to do the over at 64 because that seems if it was like 60, I would probably do it. 64 just seems slightly too high, although I may reconsider that come game time.
I probably agree with you. I think CJ Stroud is going to have a field day. But personally, I just don't see Utah scoring that much against Ohio State.
Yeah.
I could see it being like a 35-10 game or something. Mm-hmm. Where obviously Ohio State crushes them, but it's still very
Yeah, it still doesn't reach that 60.
I mean, a 42-10 game still doesn't hit the over.
Right. Exactly. They could smoke a 40, they could beat them 50-10, and it doesn't matter. It's still we're still missing it. So yeah, I love the spread of -4 for Ohio State. I love their money line. Iffy on the over, but if you're getting crazy with it, bet Ohio State over 64. But we'll see. I like the New Year's Six Bowls.
One thing you do have to talk about, though, no Chris Olave, no Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, that's true. That's huge. That's gigantic. And that's probably why the line is so low.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I mean, that makes sense. But either way, like Ohio State, like they're almost in like Alabama, Clemson-ish territory in terms of receivers, where like, they just create a pipeline.
Just throw the next guy out there.
The next guy's a 5-star recruit. Like he's
the guy is Smith something. It's Smith. There's a Smith, he has like 2 last names. It was Smith something. He's been there too, and I think he has close to 1,000 yards.
Yeah, exactly. I know you're talking about. I can't.
He's not even. I mean, and he's gonna be the one on on New Year's Day. So
yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that and also not having Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave is part of.
Yeah,
I think that under is. The better bet. Did you guys watch any of the bowls today?
I did. I watched. Gosh, what was the early bowl game on?
Cheez-It Bowl.
Yeah, the Cheez-It Bowl. Did you guys see the coin toss picture for that? It was awesome.
That was yesterday. Never mind.
The Cheez-It Bowl was yesterday, but yeah, the coin toss picture.
Mayo Bowl was today, right?
Mayo Bowl was today, right? Yeah. Love the Mayo Bowl.
Oh.
I'm all in on it.
I loved the Mayo Bowl, but the footage of people eating mayo out of the jar. And I love mayo. Like, I put mayo on every sandwich. Like, I love it. I can't watch it be eaten in that fashion. It's a little.
I agree.
It leaves me with a gross feeling.
I agree.
Yeah.
And there's some things that you can eat straight up.
Mayo is not one of them.
Mayo is not one of them. No. I literally, wait, Josh, do you have a Wawa? Do you know what Wawa is?
No. Wait.
Oh,
not Louisiana.
Well, I didn't know if he's ever been up here. It's like a convenience store that has a deli, and it's a very big thing in our area. But when I go to Wawa and I get a sandwich or a sub, it's mayo, extra mayo for me. Like, I'm a big mayo believer. I need it. I think sandwiches are not the same without it. But you will never in my life see me with a jar of mayo and a spoon.
I just want to know who Duke's paid to get tattoos for them to show in their Duke's mayonnaise commercial of the Duke's mayonnaise logo. Because that to me was almost as gross as the mayo bath.
Yeah.
Oh.
Medication.
A Duke's mayonnaise tattoo. There was like multiple ones too, and they kept showing them in the commercials. I said, they had to have paid someone.
Yeah. Or I mean, from what I've heard, it sounds like it's great mayonnaise. It's like different than Hellmann's.
I've never even had it. So
neither have I, but it seems like they hyped it up a lot on the commercials that it's like zesty. So I would like to know what it's like, what it felt like to get like mayonnaise dumped on you.
Oh, that was probably the grossest thing ever.
Yeah, that was probably not ideal. Yeah, that was kind of gross, but it was a good game. Very good game.
The Mayo Bowl was not good for me. I was a big Sam Howell believer, and I've decided to officially hop off the train.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people jumped off the Sam Howell train pretty quickly in the season because he did not have the UNC as a whole did not have a good season this year.
Very disappointing.
Very disappointing. So that is our New Year's Six preview. Don't forget to join all of our New Year's Six bowl contests. Before we wrap up the show, bet of the weekend segment. Jordy, kick us off.
So I promised I would circle back to this, and here we are circling back to it. The Bengals this season, I was taking them consistently, and there was a span where they were really letting me down. And I was like, all right, I'm so close. I was like, if the Bengals lose this week, I'm done. I'm never betting them again. And then they won. So they completely sucked me back in. This Bengals Chiefs game, I think, is going to be very, very interesting. So the Chiefs defense has been solid all season. Like, great. Bengals offense, when they're on fire. So, and like the Ravens, they had a top secondary and the Bengals completely blew them out. So the Bengals offense going up against the Chiefs defense really doesn't scare me. Chiefs offense is starting to look like that Chiefs offense that we knew and loved. So I think it's going to be this like high scoring, explosive, close game. I think it's going to be close. And I honestly think the Bengals have a chance to even come in an upset because I'm still not 100% sold that the Chiefs are 100% comfortable. I think they've gotten into a rhythm and they're back to feeling like themselves. They've got the number 1 seed right now. They're looking great. I'm not knocking the Chiefs' comeback, but we've also seen the Bengals kind of make a comeback for themselves, and now they're fighting to win their division, and they were knocked out of the playoff picture. They're getting their way back in, so I think they're going to have a fire lit up under them as well. So my bet of the weekend, my long-winded answer, is Bengals +5, because I do think they have a chance to upset, and I think this game will be closer than that anyway. So that's what I'm taking. Dun, 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 dun.
I don't know about that.
If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Cincinnati.
It's going to be Cincinnati.
But like, I just
they've been so unpredictable all season. So
they have been unpredictable, and that's part of why I'm afraid of that bet. But also because when I look at the Chiefs, they give me great Warrior, like Golden State Warrior vibes. And when the Warriors were hot, it was just impossible to stop them. And that's where like I feel Kansas City is right now. Over the last month and a half, they're just scorching hot.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's fair.
Shorty says that Joe Burrow gives her LeBron James vibes.
Could be. Ohio people be doing that.
I never know.
Joe Burrow is a king. I'll make the statement now. If the Bengals lose or don't cover 5, if the Bengals don't cover the 5-point spread, I will not bet them for the rest of this season, even if they make the playoffs. I will stay away because it's been that kind of rocky up and down roller coaster. But I have faith in them this weekend. Bet of the week.
Bengals Joe Burrow. It's on you now.
I mean, he put up 525 yards and 4 touchdowns.
I understand. I'm aware. I watched it. I watched what happened.
We're also throwing when they were up like 15 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They threw when they didn't need to.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there. Josh, what is your bet of the weekend?
My bet of the week is Dallas at -6. I think the Dallas Cowboys are one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. I think that the Dallas Cowboys are one of the most talented teams in the NFL. And honestly, they're my Super Bowl favorites for the year. I know that's kind of a cold take, but I think that Dallas is incredibly talented. I think this Arizona Cardinals team is a complete pretender, and I think that I think they're a pretender. I said it. I think they're a pretender. I think they're going to lose first round.
Just got freaking scorching hot takes.
I think that Dallas very well could win this game by. I mean, realistically, I'd say probably a 10 to 14 point margin, but I really think that Dallas could run away with this one. I mean, they're on fire offensively, all cylinders firing. I think Amari Cooper lit a flame under them. Saying what he said about their offense stalling out. The defense is king of the world right now. I think Dallas is an incredibly talented team. And honestly, with the injury situation in Tampa Bay, I think they're more talented roster-wise, considering how injured, Tampa Bay is right now. I think Dallas could really run away with this game and possibly the rest of the league.
Oh my God.
I know your inner Eagles fan is shaking right now.
It's so hard to hear.
I wasn't upset by that as much as just like saying the Cardinals are pretenders.
They're pretenders.
They're pretenders.
That's what
they're such pretenders.
Oh, you like really think they're pretenders? Okay.
I like genuinely believe that they're
on an act.
Okay.
I think
I
think they're pretenders.
I can acknowledge as an Eagles fan, like you can't deny how good the Cowboys are this season. Like you can't. They're a very, very good football team. I can't see them beating Aaron Rodgers. If Matthew Stafford is playing his best game for the Rams, I can't see them beating the Rams. So like I don't have them as Super Bowl contenders quite yet. But I can acknowledge how good they are, but I can't knock the Cardinals. That's what really that made me sad.
Here's my thing. I mean, I could go through the whole regular season, but if you really want to look at how the Cardinals have played this year, they were really hot starting out. They got a signature win against LA early on, which I think that was really big for them.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, since then they've been very disappointing. Since that Packers loss, I don't think the Cardinals are that good. I think the Packers kind of exposed them a little bit. If you can disrupt that offense, get them off rhythm, I really think that they're not as good as people say. And to be honest, that defense is not very good. They've played the middle of their season. They played some bad
a lot of
teams.
injuries. A lot of people went down throughout the course of the season.
I just don't see it. I think I just don't think the Cardinals are legit. I think they're going to lose this week, and I think they win next week. But they're playing the Seahawks, so that doesn't say much. But I mean, losing 2 games in a row, especially one of them to the Detroit Lions, makes me very, very unfaithful in that Cardinals team.
Okay,
fair enough.
I mean, you have a very good argument.
Yeah, it's like it's valid. I don't agree.
I don't agree, but it's a valid argument.
It's valid to make it anyway.
We're going to disagree here. We love it. We need balance.
No, I'm ready.
There we go. I actually am going with a game that we discussed a little bit earlier. Colts -6.5. I've not seen much from Trevor Lawrence this season that makes me believe that he will pull off something incredible. The Colts defense is really, really strong. And despite Carson Wentz being out, to me, that's not like that big of a deal compared to some other teams because he's been a little erratic, not unsurprising because we saw him for years in Philadelphia. He hasn't changed anything about how he plays. And Jonathan Taylor still gets the bulk of the offensive work anyway. He's been over 100 yards every game except one since Halloween. So I expect that to just continue down in Jacksonville. There's no reason to believe that anything really offensively, for the most part, about the Colts is going to change drastically. So I still love Colts -6.5. Personally speaking.
Fair. Yeah, fair. I mean, we haven't seen Trevor Lawrence have a touchdown in like an eon. So I think
good word. Good SAT word.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I actually didn't even study for my SATs. I went in and I just took them. And I was like, whatever comes out, comes out.
Bold strategy for the most important test of your.
No.
We don't like SATs down here. I got ACT.
Oh, nice. Good for you. Lucky.
Never understood the SAT. Like, I know the scores are like over 1,000 squared, right?
It makes no sense. And they changed. Like, I don't even know now how my score compares because it's on a completely different scale.
Yeah.
Wow.
Different type.
Yeah.
Good SAT word. Now that we got on to that tangent.
Thank you.
About the SATs somehow. But yes, Colts -6.5. That's the move. I like all our picks except Josh's. Terrible.
Oh man, I can't wait to see I told you so.
Pick is probably more solid than mine. But the reasoning really threw me off, and now I can't support it.
Bad.
Oh man, you guys are gonna. I'm gonna let both of you guys know whenever Arizona goes out in the first round. I'm gonna be like, I told you so.
The only team Arizona can go out in the first round to is if they play the Philadelphia Eagles and the Eagles beat them. That is the only way I want Cardinals to lose in the first round.
You know, as crazy as this is going to sound, I think you guys could probably beat them. I don't think they're that good.
You are that out on the Cardinals?
I don't see the Cardinals winning a game in the playoffs. I'm just being honest. I don't see them winning this game against Dallas. I don't see them winning in the playoffs. I think Cliff Kingsbury is not a good coach. I think Kyler Murray made them look elite, and I think they played very good first half football. I think after that they got on their high horse a little bit. Kyler got a little erratic. He went down. I don't think they're that good.
Okay. We need to clip this off because me and Dan's reactions, like this has to be posted everywhere.
Okay. All right.
Well, good stuff.
Yeah, we'll save that. We'll save that for the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll save that for the playoffs.
I really hope the Eagles and Cardinals play each other in the playoffs, just because that would be
phenomenal. Because we'd be on the same side.
We'd have things ready to go. Jesus Christ, that's crazy. It's crazy talk.
I mean, like, I'm kind of honored that you think the Eagles could do that.
I feel like he just hates the Cardinals. He doesn't even like the Eagles.
I don't have a vendetta against them. I'm a huge Kyler Murray fan. I really like Kyler Murray. I just don't think that they have it as a team right now. I don't think that.
Oh
I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is literally the best wide receiver in the NFL and does not play like it ever. I mean, do you see the route tree that he runs? He runs like in a radius of like 5 yards. He runs those routes. Like, I just don't. I think Cliff Kingsbury is like.
Your face is like twitching, Jordan.
DeAndre Hopkins is my favorite person on this entire planet. I
love him. I love DeAndre Hopkins. I think he's misutilized. I think this team is horribly miscoached. That's what I think. I think Cliff Kingsbury should be fired.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I just don't think he's very good.
No, it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Just wait. They're gonna get outplayed this Sunday. I'm ready for it.
And against the Cowboys, I'm like not ready for it. I might not watch that game. I don't know if I can handle it if things start going like really bad.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the Cowboys to have a good win this week.
Yikes. Well, before we Jesus. Before we wrap up the show, 2021 is coming to a close, and been a lot of good stuff going on this sports year. So let's discuss our favorite moments of 2021 in the world of sports. Josh, you can start us off.
That's a tough one.
There's a lot.
Yeah. Honestly, probably going to be unpopular here. I think Tom Brady winning a ring. I think Tom Brady winning his ring solidifies him as the greatest NFL player of all time. Don't think there's really any debate there. I think he is the GOAT of GOATs.
I mean, that's like 100%.
I think that last ring, I think that just, I mean, if he wins another one, then he's just on a different universe than everyone else. But
yeah, the Bucs
he already is.
Yeah.
I think number 7 made him better than Jordan as far as the GOAT of GOATs. I think he beat Jordan now.
That's a whole nother conversation.
I know. I'm not ready to have that conversation. My favorite moment, other than Lane Johnson's touchdown this weekend, which was fantastic, Eagles Week 1 versus Atlanta, because that game just really was special in my heart of hearts. Because I came into this season, I cried when Carson Wentz was traded. We fired Doug Peterson. I was so excited. We bring in Nick Sirianni. I get behind him. I'm thinking we're keeping Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz goes, I'm sobbing. And I love Jalen Hurts. And I love Jalen Hurts all throughout college. So it's like this transition. I'm looking at my team. I feel like I don't recognize my team. And then we came out week 1. And when I had zero expectations, I genuinely thought there was a chance we were going to lose that game against the Falcons. They came out and just looked spectacular. And it just kind of reminded me, God, I love the Eagles. And it's been a roller coaster ever since. But that game, Nick Sirianni had great, you just saw the best of everyone. And it was just a very special moment for me. Watched it on the couch with my mom. Me and my mom were having a lovely afternoon together. And it was a great day. So that was my favorite moment of 2021.
What a wholesome moment.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be terrible. And they came out and put up 40. And I was like, love it. So,
and then we all wanted him fired for 3 weeks after that.
No, I was never. I was like,
I like Sirianni.
I love Nick Sirianni. I love him. I actually think I said somewhere that I would jump in front of a bus for him.
I think you said that last week.
Yeah, I think I said that last week. So
I'm almost positive, actually.
So
I have the clip.
That's where we are. So
that's a good one. My favorite moment was watching, mainly because it's brought back a love of mine from the past. My favorite moment of 2021 was seeing the Braves win the World Series, because it was the most I've watched baseball on consecutive days in years. And they were come mid-June, they were below 500. They were part of an NL East that was god awful, that no one really deserved to make the playoffs, to be completely honest. They make it. They have this amazing run, won the World Series against, the big bad Houston Astros. And Freddie Freeman got a ring. And I love Freddie Freeman. He is the ultimate, professional athlete that you would want. He's got an incredible story. And it also fully cemented the well-known belief that the best way and the only way to truly win a championship is to build through drafting and your system and not pretend that you can buy championships, because everyone, for the most part, that won that World Series was drafted and acquired and developed by the Braves. So watching the Braves win the World Series brought hope back to me that one day the Phillies will figure something out.
Jorge Soler was that perfect pickup that they needed.
Exactly. And then you add in around there.
Yeah.
So that was my 2021 best moment.
When the Astros lose, America wins.
Exactly.
And that's how we end the show.
Yes. And on that note,
we'll see
you in 2022.
Yeah. On that note, make sure, if you haven't already, to download the UDDA app. Follow us on all our social medias on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at UDDA_winner. Happy end of 2021, heading into 2022. We will see you next week. Adios.
Bye.